It's the 5th match of the evening, the 3rd match of week 11. We're on Apotheosis, and spawning to the top left-hand corner in red is our Terran playing for Euronics Gaming, Sylvanas. And to the bottom right-hand side in green, teamless at the moment, is our Zerg player Wryza. So I think for Sylvanas it doesn't actually matter if she wins or loses. I think if she wins quite convincingly and Mitsukotsa lost her game quite convincingly, she might switch places with her and might end up in 2nd place. After Novea having lost against Miyako in the last game, she won't have any risk of dropping down to 4th place. So her 3rd place is secure, but she might even be able to get 2nd place. I can't really tell right now, since Mitsukotsa is pretty far ahead with all her victories throughout the season. So it might not even work out if like Sylvanas won 3-0 and Mitsukotsa lost 3-0, which is also very improbable. So, first scouting SCV on its way. We'll see Wryza's natural base being taken, not at the gold base, and I think Sylvanas will just like that. And the first Reaper is on its way as well, also having the command center down here, and that's something that Sylvanas likes to do a lot, where other Terran players sometimes go for the more safe build by building the command center up on the high ground and then just flying it down. Sylvanas just hates to lose time, and especially mining time, by building this command center up here and then just having to fly it down, because yes, it's true, she actually loses some mining time, but of course again this can make her very vulnerable to early attacks. I mean, yes, a Reaper is out, but this map is like huge, and actually just send out early links would walk a different path anyways. So actually, if the opponent just went for early links and then just went across the map trying to come close to that command center, it might be kind of difficult for Sylvanas to defend this. So in the meantime, we have the Reaper down here just trying to get microed against a few of these links. We'll probably end up taking a few of these down, but the most important thing for Wryza right now is not losing any drones, which she isn't, so that's always a good start. Queen is now out, so I think the most threatening danger, or the immediate threat of a Reaper, has now come to an end, so no problem over here. But yeah, especially because Sylvanas usually just builds a reactor afterwards, after the barracks, while constructing the command center. She just actually doesn't have any units for quite some time. So I still think an early link push could just destroy her plans quite easily. And at some point I just wish somebody tested my theory in the FSL, but maybe somebody will throughout the playoffs. So, okay, just trying to keep this queen away, and the queen won't come near anyways because it's just damn slow. But yeah, there the first 2 Zerglings are slowed down and not paying attention at that little moment in time, so the Lynx get this around and kill it off. But Sylvanas actually has gathered all the information she wanted to have, knows that a 3rd base is on the way, knows that she has to somehow close off that area a little more in order to make it a little bit more easy for her opponents, for her units to defend this position. And it's actually a little bit easier, not a little bit more easy, because that's stupid, but sometimes it happens when you have to think of so many things and you have to cast in a different language. So, Stimpack on the way, and factory already done, starport already done as well, 2 Medivacs in production, so Sylvanas will have the possibility to do some aggression with drops very soon. And we'll see how much this is going to gain her. With 2 Medivac drops, she can actually also try to attack multiple locations. Nice Overlord scouting here by Wryza, just getting inside the base. No Marines around here anywhere, so she will actually get a good view of what Sylvanas is up to. Might even be able to see the first unit that comes out of this factory, but she might even assume that it's going to be a mine. I mean, it can either be Hellions or mines. Tanks need tech lab over here, so yeah, okay, this Overlord will probably get taken down. Oh no! Wryza having even researched the Overlord speed, so it's probably going to get away even. Nicely done here. So the drops are already on the way, flying across the map, but they will just fly past the Overlords. The question is again, if Wryza actually saw those. I mean, her Overlord saw it. Did she pay attention as well? But it seems she did. So this time around she will probably just clean that up pretty easily. Unfortunately for her, Sylvanas is not flying into the main base, but instead just landing close to the third base hatchery. So her units are a little bit out of position, and again, she just moves them, wondering where the push is coming from and what Sylvanas is waiting for, but then she just suddenly runs into the third base location. Okay, the Lings are pretty wasteful used here. She just has to wait for the Banelings before she can actually attack. Lings are just there in order to keep the units occupied, and nice move here by Sylvanas, just loading in and unloading right behind that ledge over here, so she can actually attack once more if she wants. If units just had come too close to that ledge, she could have also even killed them quite easily. And this is also again a nice drop position. Of course the Marines are pretty clumped up, and she will actually get a few of them, but only 2 for it seems like 2 Baneling explosions, so that's again a very good trade here for Sylvanas, and again she's just being annoying as hell. Actually a tank would work out quite well for me, just having a tank position over here, attacking the gold base, or maybe even placing the tank over here, and again just attacking the gold base, having the Marines around so nothing could attack that tank. I actually wonder that I have never seen anyone in the FSL just abusing that little cliff here with tanks. That's so strange, because it seems to be such a good position. It's almost the same as on Galactic Process, where you can just attack the third as well with tanks from attacking from the low ground, or by attacking from the low ground. That's just so strange. Okay, third base already done for Sylvanas, landing at the gold base location. Well, the drop is just flying towards the fourth base location of Wryza. Nothing close by, but of course creep helps out quite a lot. Wryza reacts immediately, just pulls all the workers, and again, just has to be careful not to feed too many Lings to her Terran opponent. And finally, there's the drop in the main base. Widowmine even buried. Nice little micro there by Wryza. Unfortunately, not having the... okay, she doesn't have anything around for detection, so she won't be able to clear it up right away. Drop again incoming from the left-hand side. And in the meantime, still, just Wryza doesn't get any chance to even apply some sort of counter pressure, while more and more units are just being rallied down that map. So finally she's going to be able to take out that drop over here, but there's still 4 Marines that remain inside the medevac. Another little attack over here. No, okay, it's just the Widowmine shooting once more, but they are the Liberators, and they will be able to just zone out a lot of units quite easily, maybe even keeping these drones from mining that base completely. Ooh, bit unfortunate here. Sylvanas not really paying attention, might even know, not quite, just lose this medevac over here, so unloads the rest of her army. And yeah, we have the liberation zone set down, so this is always a bit awkward for Zerg to engage, but as long as you actually play Ling Baneling and then maybe later on into Mutas, it's quite possible to still move in, because there are so many units that the Liberators actually have to shoot it, that a lot of units normally will get through, but eventually a Terran with the better economy will just break through. I mean, Wryza tries to avoid that by just taking more and more expansions, trying to get up her economy herself, but yeah, with only Lings against Widowmines and Liberators and everything. Oh, even losing that Queen to a Liberator shot. Very unfortunate here, the Queen just stepping a step too close towards this. But yeah, the relentless aggression of Sylvanas doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. She just rallies more and more units across, just trying to get closer, setting up the liberation zones, trying to lure the Lings and Banelings into Widowmines or even liberation zones. So not much that Wryza can actually do, and the trades just Oh, the trades just keep getting worse for her, and there will be a point in time where Wryza just won't be able to produce that many Lings and Banelings anymore. Now even just trading cost inefficiently against these Marauders that actually just almost get healed up immediately. More Banelings are morphing, but like I said, this might even be the last wave of Ling Baneling that Wryza has. Again, unfortunately, just moving in these Lings a little bit too early. Finally, the Banelings pop, but will it be enough? I mean, even if she clears up that push over here, again, mostly Banelings exploding into Marauders, they get healed up instantaneously. More Liberators arrive to set up more Freedom Zones. This hatchery will die eventually, and Wryza, fortunately for her, still has a few of these drones left and can just send them to the other third base, but now she's just on equal basis with Sylvanas, who has the better army count by far, almost 4 times as much as her opponent. So I don't see any way to win this anymore for Wryza. Nice splits here by Sylvanas as well. Again, luring the opponent into the liberation zones, but what can Wryza do? She has to try and defend her second base, but she just doesn't have the means. GG, and Sylvanas takes the first game. New Gettysburg is the second map of the series. Spawning to the bottom right hand side in red is our Terran player Sylvanas, leading 1-0. And to the bottom left hand side in green, our Zerg player Wryza. So, as far as I know, actually Sylvanas played this game from TvZ's location, because she's there right now. Helping Naruto to cast a lot of WCS related events. So she flew from Vienna, I think is where she usually lives, to Krefeld in Germany in order to be there for a few days and helping out Naruto, as I've already said. And being there, she just played her games against Wryza from there, from a computer there maybe, or maybe she just took a laptop, I don't really know. But somehow she managed to make it happen. So, yeah, actually sitting in the TvZ location, playing this game, just for a few interested of you in Germany sports. So, typical build from Wryza, going hatch first, then into gas, into pool. It's like the most usual standard build that you can actually go for. Actually, almost no one bothers anymore with building a spawning pool before the extractor, because the difference is just so minimal that most of the time it just doesn't matter anymore. Maybe in some, maybe against some certain proxy builds, a pool first will do you a lot of good, but in most standard openings, it's just not really worth building the pool first before the gas. So, Reaper again out. I mean, Sylvanas not really changing it up. She has her standard builds as well this time around, just going into a second. No, actually, I think the second barracks was also what she did on the last map, if I recall correctly. So, yeah, most of the time Sylvanas not really switching it up that much. She has her practiced builds and she uses them to her advantage, while Wryza has just managed to get out the first few Lings. These Lings might even be able to just shoo away the Reaper a little more, or at least force Sylvanas into a little bit more micro. Again, the idea of these Lings is just to keep the Reaper away from the drones, so that Wryza won't really lose any of them. Of course, if you're good enough, a player with good enough micro, you might even fend off that Reaper, waiting for that Queen by just micro-managing your drones, maybe morphing them into spines and everything. But yeah, if you can't really do that, it's much safer to just have a few Lings around in order to help you out. So nice little move by Wryza here. Actually also nice move by Sylvanas. She really wants to get that drone and gets it! So that's actually a nice catch here by Sylvanas. She will be really lucky behind her computer right now, getting that drone. That's just something that pushes your adrenaline very high once that happens. So only a small little victory, only a small little delay on that base, but still a little victory. Unfortunately losing that Hero Reaper right afterwards, not paying as much attention as before. So yeah, it's still done its duty, so that's kind of okay. So finally the Lynx have speed, and now Wryza will be able to get a good scout off. There's a lot of units around here. Actually a little bit of an anti-timing. The Sylvanas just moving up her Marines in order to kill off that Overlord, while the Lynx could actually just run in. Wryza, what are you doing? I mean, you see that the Marines were just here killing off the Overlord. You could have just ran in, killed off like, well, actually a lot of workers here. Could have killed off the workers working at the depots, maybe even haven't gotten into the mineral, maybe even have gotten into the mineral line and just killed off a few SCVs over here as well. At least making them worthwhile, so that was really a bit odd. I really expected her to move in there, but then she didn't. Okay, third base almost done. That's going to help out tremendously. So more Marines on the way for Sylvanas, the Medivacs as well, the mine as well, and then probably later on a few Liberators once the starport is being done. Yeah, so like I said, it actually looks like exactly the same build as last map, and why not? If it worked quite well, why change it up? So again, loading the medevac, just to applying some early pressure with a few mines and a few Marines, and just getting up every other tech behind it. Prepare for the Liberators to be built, to being built, getting Stim out, which is almost done and will be done once the drop arrives at the third base location. Yes, and then, like I said, she will just continue pressuring and pressuring, just a new form of the parade push, you could almost say, but not involving that many mines anymore, but more Liberators around. So this time around, Wryza doesn't forget her Spire, or doesn't skip it. Maybe she did it last time by accident, or actually deliberately, but I can't really think that it was done deliberately. So nice little micro here by Sylvanas, just stutter stepping around the hatchery, trying to kill off as many drones as she can. Actually gets 11 and only loses, I think, like a single Marine over here. Maybe two, but not too many. Maybe a few, but that was totally worth it. Like just killing all of the drones before they could actually even start mining that base. That was quite nicely done. So nice scan over here, tells Sylvanas exactly into which tech Wryza is going, sees the Spire, and that's all the information she needs. So we'll actually see if she is going to change her plans. Actually, she doesn't really have to. If she planned to go into Liberators later on anyway, she can still continue to do so. Maybe should start a little earlier, and that's what she actually does with the Liberator production, because still the AoE damage of Liberators against Mutas is sick. It might not be what it was in early Legacy of the Void, but it's still pretty damn good against Mutas. So yeah, actually nothing she really has to be afraid about. Maybe just planting a turret down here and there in order to help her defend against run-bys, or more fly-bys, you could actually say. But that's actually the only thing she has to take care about. So Medivac still hanging above that base now, this just newly taken fourth. Unfortunately, Wryza doesn't seem to react right now, but Sylvanas is just unloading all of her units, and if Wryza just doesn't pay attention, no she does, she might even end up losing this hatch, and does so! No cancel over here, so another huge victory for Sylvanas again. Just making her opponent lose that many minerals and also delaying the base as well. Wow, that's another huge win there for Sylvanas right now. First few mutas are out, even the muta attack upgrade, or the air attack upgrade, being researched. But in the meantime, Sylvanas is already researching 2-2, so she's really on point with her upgrades there, trying to deal some more damage with this medivac drop over here. Realizes that there's an overlord she can easily take out. And actually we have to say that Sylvanas is playing quite surgical here, just trying to find that little weakness in Wryza's defense and then just trying to abuse it. Now the first victory for Wryza, taking down that medivac over there, but another small victory for Sylvanas here. Like I said, it's like surgical play. She just spots a small little weakness and tries to take advantage of it. Unfortunately, the Medivacs now not having boost, and she might even end up losing a second one as well. Has to be careful now, Wryza that is, with all of her mutas here. There's Stimmed Marines plus a Liberator in the way, and she actually ends up losing a lot of mutas in the process. So, that was something she didn't really want to happen. 8 more mutas in the production line. Also the upgrades incoming, more Marines, more Liberators, also a few mines. So this is the weapon of choice for Sylvanas. Again, once again, Bio, Mine and Liberator. Plus, of course, the Medivacs, but we don't really have to mention them. I mean, if you play Bio, you of course will always have some Medivacs around. Unless you, of course, just want all your Bio to die a little more from every stim, which would be pretty cruel and not very effective. Or at least not as effective as it could be. So, nice little scan here, just having a look where these banelings are rolling. If Wryza's just setting up a trap, just trying to lure her into a few baneling hits, or if she really retreats fully. So I like this scan actually a lot. So 30 more Zerglings in production, 10 more Banelings as well. So Wryza really wants to crush this push, and she actually needs to. The question is, will she be able to? If these mines are set up in proper positions, and Sylvanas again just dances around, lures her opponent into the mines, it might be quite difficult. Okay, nice splits here, and into almost every corner. The Liberators get set up. Almost all of the bio gets torn down, and it seems as if Wryza will just barely be able to hold off that little push here, but still just losing way more than she actually wanted to. And there's the next wave of Marines already incoming, and we also have a little drop in the main base, killing off the spawning pool. Oh, Traitor Mine just killing off a Broodling, but also a chunk full of army as well. In the meantime, we have the push over here just killing the 4th base as well, while she's taking her own 4th base in the meantime. And now Wryza drops below 100 supply. This game has suddenly become very, very difficult to win for her. Liberators just chasing off a few more Overlords while trying to come towards the front, and Sylvanas just has so much army left that she can use again and again, because it's, yeah, well, right now it's not getting healed before because the Medivacs are just hanging around somewhere over there. The female pilots often obviously not in a mood to fight for Sylvanas here. Yeah, and more Overlords getting attacked by these Liberators over here. Liberation zones in place once more. And if Wryza loses this 3rd base, that is actually her remaining mining base. I mean, yes, there are some minerals left in the natural. Yes, there's also a little small chunk of minerals left in the main base, but it just won't suffice at all. The 3rd base falls down right now. More liberation zones being set up in order to make way for Sylvanas' bio army, just killing off everything that's hanging around in this in the actual literal sense, and Sylvanas takes the 2nd game as well. Frost is the chosen 3rd map of this series. Spawning to the top left-hand side in red is our Terran Sylvanas, leading to the O. And spawning cross position in the bottom right hand corner in green is our Zerg player Wryza, who has to come back, winning 3 games in a row. It's not impossible. We've seen Poison do it today, but it's definitely going to be a difficult task. So let's see if Sylvanas is going to choose the same strategy all over again, since it worked out for her quite nicely 2 times in a row, or if she just tries to mix it up a little bit this time around. Can't really tell right now, but it doesn't look like it. So Overlords just being spread out. Unfortunately for Wryza, she won't find her opponent on either of these positions. But of course, it's always good for a Zerg player if the opponent spawns cross position. Again, this map is huge, and the rush distances from one natural to the other are also very large, especially if you spawn cross position. And that's normally the best thing that can happen to you as a Zerg player on that map. So SCV already trying to scout the opponent. Reaper will be out in just a few seconds. Will then also help out scouting the opponent and where she is. In the meantime, Wryza just gets her spawning pool and will probably just set up everything for her usual macro game. She just doesn't like to cheese. I actually never saw her cheese. Neither in the FSL games nor on her stream. But the awesome guitar in the background just helps us sweeten this game a little more. Speed incoming. And the reactor after the command center being placed down here. Again, still think it's a weakness, still think you can profit from it. Yeah, we will have to wait until somebody finally works it out, or tries it at least, and then we'll see whether it's actually going to do as much damage as I think, or if it just shows us that it's not really worth doing it anyways. Which would actually tell us that there's no way you can stop Terran from taking an early base early on with Zerg if you actually just try to blind counter that build that just has no units until the 3-minute mark. So, except for the Reaper, but the Reaper is on the other half of the map, now even getting eaten once more, and the third hatchery is finally being planted down. So Overlord trying to get into position, we'll obviously see whether there's a third base already or not, which would be very unusual, and then it's probably going to fly in, try to get more info on what's going to happen. Stim already on the way, we have the factory out plus the starport, and the reactor will now be added towards the factory just in order to switch out these buildings once the starport has been finished, so that we will have better medevac production later on. So first few links now moving in, but now at 350 we already have enough Marines around in order to defend this quite easily, so nothing that Wryza could gain from that, unless she had banelings at that point. Had banelings at that point. So Baneling Nest right as we speak in production, also very early lair, but she's also taken her third base, so I have nothing against that. In the meantime, medevac production, Stim is almost finished. We will probably also see a mine at some point, I feel. There should be at least one mine before the medevacs pop out. Will she skip the mine? Is that just an accident, or did she really deliberately do that? It feels to me as if she's just skipped the mine by accident. No, there it is, so never mind, like I said. And then again, it's going to be the same push, 2 medevacs full of Marines and 1 mine. And then she will try to apply some pressure. Will she wait for the mine first? Actually, she doesn't, which is quite interesting. Where's the mine? It's not there yet. So maybe she will just fly away without the mine? Oh, actually, even using... okay, she just misses the mine, maybe. I think this is just a small mistake by her. I think she really wanted to do that, but kind of forgot about it and didn't really want to wait any longer for that mine to come out. Wow, good mine shot. And we were right on time on top of it. So, medevacs just flying towards the third base location. Of course, the best location over here. She can always just try to kill it if nothing is here, or she can just fly past it into the main base. And of course she can just be annoying as fuck by just unloading here, killing off something, and once Wryza's units move around here, she can just pick up and fly into the main base and be more aggressive over there. So it seems, oh, has to be careful here. Sylvanas just realizes, okay, there are banelings, never mind. I'll just take all of my units and fly into your main base. And that's what she does over here, just moves in, unloads everything, just tries to split it apart as good as possible. Now even killing off again all of these early lings, Wryza has to be careful not to move in with all of the lings first so that they all get killed way before the banelings arrive, because then it will even be then a good Terran player will even be able to just shoot them down individually by focus firing them. But finally, at least she had some queens in position to take out these medevacs and can actually just clean up all of that push eventually without it actually having done that many damage. I mean, yes, a lot of lings were killed, but again, for Zerg, units are mostly just means to protect workers. So if you just manage to stop a push without losing any workers at all, or just a few of them, that's always a successfully defended attack. Of course not if you lose all of your army and the Terran just has another standing army right behind it attacking you within the next 20 seconds, then of course it sucked. But most of the time, if you just manage to get the area clean of the Terran and without having lost a lot of your mining resources, then it's okay. Yeah, no problem here. So next drop incoming. Sylvanas, actually Wryza has a lot of units around here this time, but I think she really needs a few more banelings. That's why she morphed them in right now. Might actually be a little bit too late, because now the units can just walk in. She has to fight with lings and only a few banelings. Actually worked out a little bit better than I'd actually thought. Yeah, has to focus fire down the medevacs, because that's always what causes a Terran to retreat. That's always the best thing you can do, having enough queens around trying to focus fire the medevacs, because that's something a Terran just doesn't want to lose in the pushes. Because once the medevacs just get lost, a lot of your mobility, the healing power, and a lot of aggressive potential from that push just gets lost in an instant. So, like I said, this often causes Terrans to retreat. Okay, with a new range upgrade, or with a new range on the queens, they can actually take out that one liberator quite easily. Okay, mines out here can actually just do the trick. This one mine actually gets a sick hit over here. 7 kills already, but Sylvanas just doesn't have enough units out now in order to just harass her opponent anymore. But the harassment just did what it was supposed to do, buy her some time in order to get down her third base, get it saturated. No danger here at all, because Wryza has always been occupied at her own base, and that's always the safest time to take a base of your own if you just keep your opponent busy, because if you attack her, she will most likely not attack you back. Unless she's a very good player and she's already planned for that event. Has already prepared maybe some sort of counter harassment or counter run by. That might also cause you a lot of problems, and that most of the time is the best answer to these kinds of harassments. That if your opponent harasses you, you just harass him right back. But of course you have to plan ahead, and it's very difficult to pull off doing a successful harassment while being harassed at the same time. So Wryza finally tries to take a 4th base. She has probably realized that her opponent has taken a 3rd, but no, not quite. The Overlord would be in a good position, only a few pixels further to the left. Oh, and this is a fearsome push. This is very scary. I mean, have a look at that. We have now again, the army composition that Sylvanas really wants to go for. Liberator, Biomine. And it has worked out very well. Wryza has never actually managed to take out all of the army units, and I again feel these are way too few banelings. Some of them even explode into units they don't really want to explode in. And yeah, that's it. I mean, she couldn't really clear up that push. More army units are being rallied across the map as well. We even have ghosts already in the mix, if I see that correctly. Yes, there the one is. And yeah, just scans for new hidden bases, just wants to be really secure that Wryza hasn't got anything left up her sleeves, but she doesn't. These lings will try to morph into banelings, but they just won't succeed, and the lings alone can never fight against that kind of buyer. Sylvanas just ruffled stomping over Wryza here, no problem whatsoever for her. The rest of the units arrive. And once she just has a small break to take breath, she will also bring them to join her main forces And yeah, losing the natural is already a big blow, losing the lava. Finally some ultras are out, but these 2 ultras alone will probably not be the saving grace. But what am I saying? Wow! 2 ultras just ripping through everything, although they don't even have the upgrades. But I feel like actually a really bad position for Sylvanas to be in. The clumping up of the units just even made the amount of splash damage that the Kaiser Blades do even better than usual. But still, I mean, Sylvanas is way ahead. She's already taken her 4th base, only has to saturate it over here. It's only like 1 real mining base for Wryza. This one is dry, the natural is being retaken. I don't actually know if it's even worth it with these few minerals left. Of course it's worth for the lava, but for the minerals, I don't think so. Well, 3 ultras are out now. The queens actually spent, I think, some transfuse on them, or they were just healing up a little bit. But yeah, transfuses would be just great, making these ultras as good again as they were beforehand. So this is actually only a small force, so yes, the ultras and the rest of the units should actually be able to take this out. The liberators are of course pretty annoying here for Wryza. And another 2 medevac attack from the left hand side. Another Sylvanas not paying attention here for a little time, losing 1 of the medevacs, but now she has the double pronged attack, just having her main force up at the top side, while just attacking from the left flank as well. Not really paying attention right now, but everything that just tries to mine from here just gets annihilated. 14 drones lost, and again it seems as if Wryza is just barely able to drive that push away and to keep on for a little bit longer. But I don't really know for how long anymore. I mean, finally 2-2 finishes up as well, so now the ultras have at least 7 armor and also 2 damage. But there are the ghosts finally, and now just taking them down with snipes. Nice little transfuse over there here with the queens, but it's only one. No, it's actually more ultras. What are you doing, Wryza? Where are your other ultras? Why are you just attacking with like 1 ultra underneath liberation field? Just barely saved the ultra there. It was almost dead, but with the transfuses she just managed to get it back. You have 2 ultras up here. What are you doing, Wryza? And now even moving. What is that? That's move commanding around. Little misclick there by Wryza, just losing another one of her ultras. And the ghosts now just come to wreck house. And okay, Liberator's just sieging up, so a lot of liberation zones that ultras actually have to cross through. Now just attacking the ghosts. Nice attack here again from Wryza. Most of the Liberators just had to be drawn back because of the queens that were attacking them. Not even getting out of the liberation zone soon enough is that one little Ultralisks. Yeah, then 1 Ultralist, and now the only thing that Wryza really can produce are Zerglings and Banelings. I don't really know what kind of position she feels herself to be in, but I mean, she can't really win from here now. 150 to 65 supply anymore. I mean, this game has been pretty over for quite some time, but with the help of the Ultralisks and a lot of good transfuses, she managed to stay in the game for quite a long time. But finally, Sylvanas wears her down, takes the series 3-0.